Hello, welcome to Women Winning with Money. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at understanding financial goals. What are financial goals? These are targets that you set on how to use and manage your money. We have short term goals within 1 year, mid term goals 1 to 5 years, and long term goals that are over 5 years. Short term goals examples could be that you want to pay off a debt or build an emergency fund. Midterm goals would include saving up for a car or you want to pay up for a professional course. And of course, long-term goals include retirement planning, building a house. Now, for every goal, you have to apply the SMART principle. S, it has to be specific, know exactly what you want to achieve. M, you need to put a number to it, measurable. Your A, achievable, let it be realistic. And of course, the R, you have to look at it. It must be relevant to your lifestyle. And T, every goal must have a timeline. Without that, you can't set financial goals. So I'm going to be talking and moving on with my, Temi telling us why financial goals fail.
There are a lot of reasons why financial goals fail. I'm going to be talking about just a few and how you can actually work your financial goals and make it work for you. Now, a lot of people don't set clear goals, and that's the very first reason why your financial goal will fail. I'll give an example. There was a particular time when I set out to set a financial goal a year ago, and I wanted to actually start a project. And my goal was to save 370,000 naira in 1 year. And so I made up my mind that at that time I was still working in the bank, but I said, no, I'm not going to save from my salary. I would like to save from my side hustle. So what I did was I set up, I automated my savings, and actually it's going to be an investment. I don't save, I have a lot of savings I do, but then most of my savings goes to investment account. I mean, it's good to multiply money than rather than just adding money. All right. So we talk about investment in one of our episodes. You can watch that and then you would understand that in detail. So back to my story. I set the goal that in by December 31st, I want to have 370,000 naira for a project. So I decided that I'm going to be saving 1 naira per day, 1,000 naira rather. I'm going to be saving 1,000 naira per day from my side hustle. And so my end goal was saving 370,000 naira in a year. And my main goal was saving 1,000 naira per day. So what I did was I automated my savings, and then I decided that I must make 1,000 naira in profit in some of my products that I sell to be able to save 1,000 naira in a day. Now, that was my income goals. So, because I wanted to meet up with my savings goals, I set another income goal to make profit of at least 1,000 naira in a day so that I'll be able to save at least 1,000 naira a day so that I'll meet my end goal, which is 370,000 naira in a year. So every 10 p.m., my account will be debited. It will be moved to the investment account. And so whenever then I was in a bank. So after when it is past 5 or 5:30, as I enter my car, I'll start calling my clients, sending messages, posting on social media, doing everything to make sure that I make a sale or I sell a product that will give me at least 1,000 naira profit so that I can save 1,000 naira that year. So why am I explaining this? It means that if you really want your goal settings to work for you, you need to be detailed. You need to be intentional. You need to set your means goals and your end goal. If, for example, your means goal is to have 5 million in a month, you need to think about it. How do you make 5 million in a month? And then break it down to daily goals and weekly goals and monthly goals. So a lot of people fail because they are not intentional. People fail because they don't have clear goals. Another reason why people fail in goal settings is because they have a very wrong mindset. If you believe that you can, then you can. At that time when I set that goal, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but immediately I set the goal, I went to work thinking about how to achieve the goal. And then I came up with the strategy of making sales, saving 1,000 naira a day, making 360,000 naira a year. And because it is in an investment account, I was able to meet the goal of 370,000 naira a year. Now, you should be intentional about your goal settings. You should have your intention as well. For example, you set a goal for yourself. What are the steps that are going to be taken to actually achieve the goal? Those are the things you should do. Change your mindset. Don't set unrealistic goal. Make your goal smart, and then go ahead to achieve your goals. Dear Kat is going to be telling us more about goal setting.
Thank you so much, Tammy, for that brilliant explanation. I'm making some adjustments from what I'm learning. I want to talk specifically about aligning your goals, your financial goals, with your stages in life. If you have listened to our episode on investments, you would understand that where you are actually determines how you will plan financially and the kind of goals you will set for yourself. I'll go over a few of the tips because it's the same thing that relates to your state of life, your stage and season in life, and goal setting and how you work your finances. So, taking it from when you're really small, I did not even begin to learn financial literacy and learn about how to handle money until I was about 35. And at that point, the first thing that occurred to me was, if I'd handled money a little bit better as a child, then I would be more equipped for the things that life presented to me later on in life. Lola here has a book on Bisola and our money jars. And it speaks about how, from when you're little, when you have money, you must learn how to save, how to spend, and how to give. Now, this is something that all children, talking about that stage of life, must learn to implement. We must start early. We must begin to save. We must begin to spend. And of course, if it's a parent listening, you have to encourage your children to divide their money up in this kind of way so that they can even have financial goals for themselves. Taking from my personal life, one thing I do is give my children an allowance every month that helps them learn financial prudence. Of course, there's a Yoruba proverb that says that the first money a child makes will be spent on bean cakes. But if they don't spend that money at all, they will not learn the financial discipline that will equip them for the later years. So, as a child, aligning your financial goals with your stage of life is why you would save up for gifts. Let's say all your needs are met by your parents. When it's their birthday or Christmas or Ileya, for example, what do you as a child do for your parents to show them that you appreciate them? So you must set a financial goal. I want to save so much money to be able to give my mom or my dad something tangible, something memorable. It's not about how expensive it is. It's about the thought and the fact that you took out of the money that was given to you to make it happen for your parents. So as a child, you have those kind of goals. Of course, as time goes along, your parents also will begin to leave some things for you to cater for. If, as a parent, I bought you a phone, I bought you everything else, you now need earphones, you are still coming back to this same me, you now need data, it's still the same me that will buy the data. I will teach you financial responsibility by giving you your own money and letting you plan towards those kind of things. Of course, the minute you become a teenager and you begin to have business ideas, one thing I find in business and in life is that people would always ask, what are you willing to do for yourself? So that begins to inform the financial goals you will set for yourself as a teenager. You will have a business idea, you want to make lemonade to sell in school, you want to buy lip gloss, a friend wants to buy lip gloss from you, you want to buy and make profits. You will not come to your parents every time to buy something of 1,000, 2,000 to, quickly supply something to your friend. At that time, how far can you see what you're doing going? Now, I'm using that example because I have a daughter that does that. She helps her friends get things and charges a commission. Now, when you're a teenager and your business sense is waking up, even when it is your writing sense, I know some teenagers that come and say that they want to subscribe to Snapchat is 1,200. Those are things you should be able to save up towards and plan towards as a teenager. Of course, as a young adult, life has started, and then you have started working and you start making money. You must be able to see yourself in a better place in the future. Like I already said, for the teenager, when you have a business idea, the person that you want to support you financially when you're looking for startup capital, they would always ask you, what have you been able to put together for yourself? Of course, they will add to it. But if you don't have anything by yourself, nobody is going to carry you hook, line, and sinker. You must be able to stand firmly. And then when people hear you have savings, they are more eager to help you. So in your stage of life as a young person, you actually don't have liabilities yet. Don't be in a hurry to move out of your parents' house because you want independence, because that comes with a different set of bills. Plan towards it. If you know that you want to live in Lekki in a 8.5 million apartment, enjoy your father's house for a long time. Gather that money until you are able to stand by yourself and then get that apartment for yourself. And then you can tell your parents, hello, bye. I want to go and stay by myself. But then you would have made provision for it. There's something not so right with you making money, having money, and then still asking your parents to go and rent you an apartment when they have a house you can stay in rent free. These are things you need to plan towards. Of course, you would want to get a car after a while. These are the things that inform your choices in life. Now, these choices are easy to make when it is just you and you're not married and thinking of your spouse or your future children. Now, the next stage, you now start having children. I can assure you that the first shocker is diaper. When you discover that diapers are expensive and you have put it on for 4 hours, even if that child doesn't poop or pee, you will change it. You begin to feel, we all thought that the diaper was the expense until we had to pay primary school fees. And then secondary school fees came and we were like, oh my God. And just before we started recording, we were discussing university school fees, and everybody understands that we need to tighten our belt. And that is how much money you make, how much harder you work so that you can make more money to meet more needs, because now you're suddenly responsible for so many people. Of course, by the time you're in your late 30s, early 40s, you are not only responsible for yourself, your spouse, you're now responsible for your children. And guess what? You're responsible for your parents as well, because they can't earn as much anymore. And then you are spread thin. Now, this is the prime of life. This is when you work more. This is when you must ensure that even the money you make is working for you. And this informs the choices you make, especially with savings, managing money, investments. And these are all the fundamentals of your planning, of your financial planning. Of course, by the time you cannot work as hard as you want to because you're approaching retirement, things begin to wind down. At that time, your savings had better be hefty enough to make good money for you to work less, and have more money. But that means that earlier in the 30s and 40s, you were saving heavily, even though you had heavy bills, you were saving heavily such that you can build a base and live on your returns on investments later on in life. I've tried to, do a crash course, but this is how you must think to align your financial goals with your seasons of life. So now I'll hand over to Funke, who wants to tell us how we can stay on track with our financial goals.
Thank you so much. Now I believe you can set your financial goals and you are ready to set it. So before I go on, I want you to write it down. How much are you saving this month? Right now that you're watching us, how much are you saving? One mistake we make a lot of time that makes us not to stay on track is being over ambitious. Oh, you are earning 100,000 and you think, oh, I really want to save 70,000 naira every month. Be careful. If you really want to stay on track and you want to continue, don't be over ambitious. Another thing you have to do is to make sure you automate your savings as much as possible. If it's investment, if it's saving, whatever you want to do, try to automate it. Because when you don't automate, possibly in a particular month, you want to save 50,000 naira and you need that 50,000 naira. Before you take out the money, the system has debited you. There is nothing you are going to do about it. So find a way to automate your savings. Another thing you should do is to get a mentor. I always tell people there's difference between mentor and accountability partner. Your mentor can be somebody that you've never met before. Maybe you watch their videos, you talk to them online. But get a mentor, somebody that has achieved the goals you want to achieve. When we listen to our mentors, it's like standing on the shoulder of a giant. So you can see further. So get a mentor, ask questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I achieve my financial goals? Then get an accountability partner. Somebody that you can talk to, somebody that you can set financial goals together. I can remember a few years ago, myself and she's actually my mentor and my accountability partner. We decided that we are going to save certain amounts in naira and in dollars. And for the first time in my life, I saved a lot because I know that every month I'm going to tell her this is how much I've saved. And initially when we started, we were saying it. We now got to a point that you have to print your statement to show that truly I've added to it. And I will tell you that I did very well that year. So make sure you get an accountability partner, somebody you can trust, because we say that keep your finances like your private part, that you don't show anybody except your intimate person. Because there are some partners, if you go ahead and get a partner that will tell you, I need urgent 2K, forget your savings. Because they will come to a point that they will blackmail you. Oh, their son is sick, their daughter is ill, and you are there, you are saving. You have that money in your account. Why can't you help me? So make sure you carefully choose your accountability partner. Make sure you carefully choose your mentor, somebody that knows what he or she is doing. And that is why we are here at Women Winning with Money, to help you, to teach you. Do you need to understand better how to set financial goals? Maybe you even need tools. Yes, it's good you get tools to help you with budgeting, with setting goals, or you need tools to help you. You need to understand where to save the money. Reach out to us. That is why we are here for you, and we'll be willing to help you. It's not about perfection, it is about progress. They say progress beats perfection. So chat us up today, subscribe to our channel. We'll be waiting for you and we'll be happy to help you. We wish you a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.